I'm melting under this ring light, but I got my horn on. Happy Pride Month! Ah. Hey, real quick, before we get into the review, I'm going to be talking about the Hocus Pocus sequel book. So I'm gonna be spoiling not only the sequel, but the original movie. So spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, just in case. And also, if I get get enemies, obviously, but if I get any facts wrong about like the history or the writing of this book, I apologize. I did my best researching. I just didn't find too much information, but watch. As soon as I put out this video, a bunch of people are going to come out and go, put out all the information I needed. And good, then we'll have those answers solved. And I'm sure you'll tell me. Hey folks, Princess Davy here, coming at you with a real quick review on the Hocus Pocus sequel. Oh, yes! To celebrate Pride Month, I thought I'd talk about some of my favorite, like, LGBTQ, like, Pride characters, you know, like, gay romances and stuff like that, because, yes, the sequel is a gay romance, and I'm here for it. I love it. I talked about it for the Princess Davy podcast, so if you haven't checked out that episode or listened to my podcast, why not? Please do. Like, the more listens and the more likes, the more views, like, the more it gets out there. So, I mean, never mind. You're probably gonna not even listen to it. You're probably not even gonna watch the rest of this video. You're probably like, and I'm done. So, yes, the sequel that came out, I did talk about it a little bit, but I tried not to spoil it. But I'm gonna be spoiling it here because I'm gonna kind of break down the whole plot, talk about what I liked, you know, because I've reread it a few times since I did that podcast episode, or I've reread it once, and I do kind of see some of the flaws and some of the things that people pointed out to me, and I mean, it didn't deter me from liking it. I still enjoy it. I still think it's fun, and now that Disney has officially like announced the sequel and said we're going to be getting it soon for Disney Plus with the original cast or like the original witches, I thought it'd be fun to, again, put out some of the more of the plot points and talk about this book, because maybe they'll borrow something. Maybe we'll get the gay romance involved. Maybe we'll have that, ooh, representation. Anyways, like, the history of the writing or the sequel of this book is Disney was kind of toying around with the idea of a sequel for Hocus Pocus. I believe, like, back in 2010, they were, like, kind of talking about it, and it was, you know, in the news. They were getting different writers and producers involved. Infamously, Tina Fey was involved as a producer at one point. I even think they got Kenny Ortega involved. And then, like, in November of 2015, Bette Midler was like, no, I'm not going to do it. You mean, like, I don't know if anyone else is going to do it, but I'm not going to be there. And I think that would kind of lead to, like, Sarah Jessica Parker not doing it, Kathleen and Jimmy not doing it. They're the main Sanderson sisters. So we weren't going to get the original witches. And fans are like, do we even want a sequel if it doesn't involve the original witches? Like, because they made that movie. Like, their chemistry was so good. Like, what would a sequel be without them? And Disney was like, yeah, well, we're still going to do it. Okay, we're going to release a made-for-TV movie on Freeform with none of the original cast or writers or anything like that. And you're just going to like it. And they never did. I think they saw how much people were like, no, like unequivocally, no, that they were like, well, we can't just toss it out. Let's kind of make it into a book and like get something from this like work that we put into the sequel, you know. So here we got this, we got the sequel book with the original, like a retelling of the first movie. You can see there's the Disney logo there and the Freeform. That's why I say I think this was literally meant to be the sequel movie. They just changed it into like a book form, because I have seen some places say it was ghost written. So I mean, like, anyone can kind of ghost write for people, so that's like just a fun fact. Sometimes celebrities, when they release a book that was just ghost written, that's just a thing that could happen, and people have told me I should do that for others, but like I don't think I'm that good of a writer yet. Check out some of my writing. Ooh, I totally sold you on it, right? But okay, so with this sequel book, okay, I'm going to just read the back of the book for you first, really quickly. Shortly after moving from California to Salem, Massachusetts, Max Dennison finds himself in hot water when he accidentally releases a coven of witches, the Sanderson sisters, from the afterlife. Max, his sister, and his new friends, human and otherwise, must find a way to stop the witches from carrying out their evil plan and remaining on Earth to torment Salem for all eternity. 25 years later, Max and Allison's 17-year-old daughter, Poppy, finds herself face to face with the Sanderson sisters in all their sinister glory. When Halloween celebrations don't go quite as planned, it's a race against time as Poppy and her friends fight to save her family and all of Salem from the witch's evil latest vile scheme. Like, legit, it's fun. You can see those are the main characters of the new one there. You got Poppy, Isabella, and Travis. And then you got the sisters there. You know, Sarah, Winifred, Mary. And, like, the original book, retelling is fun. There's a little error in there. But then the sequel, I think there are some good ideas in it. The story goes that Poppy, Isabella, and Travis once again sneak into the Sanderson house, and they use a Ouija board to communicate with the dead. They're actually communicating with the Sanderson sisters, and they enact a curse that switches people they love or people on Earth with people in hell. So, like, the Sanderson sisters come back, Max, Allison, and Danny get sent to hell. I think that's an actually really cool idea. So then you get Poppy, Isabella, and Travis trying to work to find a way to reverse the curse. And then you got the three witches living in, like, our modern day society. I know some people are going to be wary of that or nervous of that. But with the sequel placed in, like, 2018, because that's when it's set 25 years right after the original one, you're going to have new technology. You're going to have the internet. You're going to have cell phones. And I think the way they do it in this book is kind of, like, fun. Like, they kind of just happen upon the cell phone. And then you get Sarah, like, asking a boy how it works, you know, using her charm and her spell casting and stuff like that. And then she literally sings the song into the cell phone so that it goes out to more people. I think that's kind of clever and ridiculous. And I think it works really well with that. And again, the way they introduce it is kind of like, it makes sense. The one thing though that, like, I kind of forgot because, like, I was so enamored by, like, the romance and stuff like that, because they did a really good job when she was human. Hint hint. They do that trope where a character of color, okay, or a person of color in a story, in a movie, what have you, becomes an animal for, like, half the story. And yes, Travis is also black, but Isabella is a black character. She's the main love interest, and eventually halfway, like, a little bit through the story, she turns into a dog, and they have to transform her back into a human. And I feel like that was such an unnecessary extra added layer, again, reading it back. I mean, I thought it was, I think it's cute. Like, I see the idea that they were going for, especially because it was a made-for-TV movie. Like, they wanted to get probably the kids to involve talking animals is great. They don't have a Salem in this one. But, like, it's just unnecessary. Like, they did such a good job making you believe that Poppy actually really likes Isabella and is nervous to tell her these feelings because she doesn't, like, want to ruin the friendship that she has with Isabella. Does even Isabella feel the same way she does about her? Like, they do a really good job about that. I love the little cuteness with them, like, almost touching, and, like, the static, you know, like the electricity between them. Silly, but, like, I was there for it. When they did the dog thing so that Poppy can actually confess how she feels, it was unnecessary. So be aware of that. But again, it was they handled the sisters well. I felt like I was actually reading, like, I was watching the original sequel. I was enjoying, you know, a carry-on of the characters. The only thing I think that they misfired with the witches is there's a point where Mary, okay, so Kathleen and Jimmy's character, starts singing. And it's not only that she's singing, it's like an original song that someone wrote. And I think the reason why Bette Midler's song worked, or Winifred's song worked in the original, was because not only was it a curse that she was putting over the parents, but it was like a cover of a song that Bette Midler was doing. So it was like this added, like, oh, if you're a fan of the original song, for the adults, the parents, you know, like, you're gonna like you might enjoy Bette Midler doing it. And so it was fun. In this one, it's just like Mary just starts singing about her life, and, like, she starts enchanting, like, instruments start playing, and it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't serve the plot, much like the dog thing. There's no need for it, so it's just weird. And, like, why, if you had Bette Midler, you know, like, maybe the actress that they got to play Mary was a singer, and that's why they gave her a song. But if you had Bette Midler, like, why would you have her sing? Because Winifred doesn't sing. Okay, it's like, there's only one musical moment, and that's it. It's really weird, and that's also why it's, like, weird. But again, it feels like a really good sequel. You know, again, you got this really cute romance going on between Poppy and Isabella, and them working together to try to stop the witches from bringing back all the witches that have been sent to hell, you know, and, like, I think it's cool because there's this part where the witches do come back. You know, the spell is enacted, and they're like ripping through the fabric of reality, and it's like a cool like zombie moment, but with witches. And I just think it works. I think it's fun. Again, like I just think the ideas are there, you know. So like they could definitely toy around with maybe not the witches necessarily being sent to hell. Maybe they're sent to like a different dimension, and we get to see that dimension if Disney doesn't want to show hell, for whatever reason. But like it's just like a fun. It's a fun movie. A fun movie. It's a fun little sequel. You know, it's not too long. You know, because most of this is the original movie. Or actually no. So it's like half and half. But it's not too long. It's fun. Again, it's supposed to be like a teenage romance. There are some parts where it feels like an adult trying to write as a teenager. But, I mean, if you can look past that, I mean, it's fun. It's just a fun little romp. And again, because they're doing a sequel, like, let's see what kind of parts they borrow. Are they going to take, you know, this new trio? Are they going to take this idea of following the daughters of one of the main characters on this adventure of trying to save Salem? Or is it going to be like just the original family maybe saving their kids? Who knows? Who knows? Let me know what you think they're going to do. Let me know what you thought of this sequel book. Again, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And I'm going to be talking about more fun, like, LGBTQ characters and stories and stuff like that. Oh, let me know if there's some that you enjoy and that I should check out too in the comments down below, because I love checking out new things. I have lots of time on my hands because I can't sleep and I'm an insomniac. So yeah, there's that. Love you. Happy Pride Month.